these with the 1901 card, some of the volumes are high, some of them are low. The sound quality is not that great, so you know, I'm thinking, why do I want to amplify a bad sound? Why not just deal with the sound that I have, set it, and then control it? The simple way to do it was simply taking a foam plate and cutting a circle out of it, and then I put some quarters on it just to weight it down a little bit, and that actually works very well. And you can hear the volume difference from having the holes covered to the holes not being covered. So you can see that works pretty good to control the sound. And if I put pressure on it to hold it down even more, notice it's even lower. And of course I've wired the speaker through the switch so I can either turn the speaker on or off, or control its volume by moving this piece of foam over the holes. So the more holes I block out, the lower the volume becomes. So I've taken this idea and actually put it into this control panel here, but I'm using a knob on the side, which you can see this knob here, and this knob actually helps control the volume. So I did have this switch here turning the volume on and off, and then I could of course put my foam plate over here and control the volume with that. But what I did was automate this so that this knob now does it for me. And so what you do is, if I turn the knob a little bit, you notice I have volume, and that's low. I can make it louder by moving the knob back. And go low, and then go off. Because I'm using a sub-D connector, I'm able to disconnect my control panel and bring it over to the table so that I can show you how I go about controlling the sound. And I've already removed the screws from the speaker, so I can move it aside, and you'll see underneath my speaker I have a disc that's actually connected to this wheel, and also the switch is connected to the speaker. So whenever I turn the volume all the way up, you can see that all of these holes line up, and so therefore sound passes through them. But you'll notice as I turn this wheel here, those holes start to get smaller because of the teardrop shape in my disc, to the point where at that point the sound is almost all the way down, and you can see that there's very little light coming through those holes now, which means there would be very little sound traveling through those holes. And if I move that all the way, you'll notice that there's no light coming through the holes, and therefore no sound would be coming through. Now you're still going to get sound in the box or in the cabinet, but you're not going to get a lot of sound coming, in this case no sound coming through the holes. So with the sound off, you can see that the holes are closed up, and therefore no light's passing through, so no sound would pass through. But as I rotate the switch, you can see the light starting to come through, which that means the sound would start to come through. So this is how I'm controlling the volume. And this switch, whenever I go all the way down, it actually mutes the speaker, because the speaker is hooked up to that switch, so that whenever the switch is activated or pressed, because I'm using the normally closed side of the switch. Whenever the switch is activated, it actually disconnects the speaker. Unlike the other switches, we're using the normally open side. So whenever we activate the switch or push the button, we're actually closing the switch. In this case, I'm actually opening the switch whenever I turn it all the way down. So that's going to disconnect the speaker. So that's how I get the speaker to shut off completely. And then again, to control the sound, I'm just moving this wheel. So this actually works really well, and it's old school.